In today's video, we're going to talk about must-have salon policies. If you're a professional nail technician, you must listen to this episode right now on the Biz Talk. I have only one absolute must-have policy, Tracey. You know what that is?
What?
Thank you. That's it. Thanks. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all my fans.
That's a policy?
My fans being Tracey and Greg. I want to thank my fans, Tracey and Greg, for me being me, and that's my policy. Thanks. That's my policy.
Okay. So confused.
Yeah, I don't think I made myself look good there.
No.
I think people are like, what an idiot, and that's not good. Yeah, I run the company, guys.
That's their policy.
Actually, I don't. Actually, I don't. I can scoot my way out of that. I just caught myself. All right. This is probably one of the most important episodes, in my opinion, because this will save you a lot of headache, frustration, stress, you name it. If you actually take what we're going to discuss today and you implement it, it is going to help your business tremendously. Every business needs them. We're talking about salon policies, Tracey.
Yep.
So just generally speaking here, like, what are we talking about? Like, what do we mean? Like salon policies. Okay, I understand what policies are, but what are we talking about specifically?
Do you? Because
I do.
Okay.
But specific to nails, what are we talking about?
Anything that's important to you that you need from your client that affects your business.
Okay.
Is what I would say it was.
So I need my clients to understand, basically, this is how I run my business.
Correct.
I'm going to communicate that to them in policies.
Correct.
Great. So, sorry, really quick. I just want to break this down. I want to talk about policies. And then here's the big part. I want to talk about actually enforcing the policies.
That's different.
Yes, that is different. That's kind of the make or break, right? The first step is to actually create them. Which ones you need to have, which Tracey's going to talk about. But then how to enforce them, I think, is a huge key, and it's a struggle for a lot of people. So I want to talk about that too. But which policies are absolutely necessary for nail professionals?
Well, they're going to vary.
Yeah.
It's going to vary. I think, there's standard policies I would recommend for everybody. Your no-show policy, your how many hours of notice do you want policy, deposit policy if you have one, what the fee is for the no-shows. I mean, everything that you want your clients to just know.
Yeah.
We just want them they should know, right?
They should
Anything
know.
that you're going in your head, they should know, you need to write it down.
You need to write it down. Yeah.
Now, the policies that can change, what is late to you? What is showing up late? Is that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? What point is it a no-show? Is that 5, 10, 15? Where is that? What are you charging for that no-show? If you fire clients for things like that, how many times? What is the policy there? Or is it at will? Do you let small humans, as I like to call them, in your salon? Because this is the things that are going to vary for each person.
Right.
If you don't, you need to let people know. You can't just assume they're going to know, because they don't.
Animals.
Children.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. all that. Again, even for me, policies is even your pricing. That's a policy.
Yeah.
This is my mandatory policy on pricing. So all that.
So I feel like someone that is watching this right now that does not have policies is like, well, I don't even know where to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's a good starting point? So you kind of name the standard ones, right? Like, how about this? Because, I mean, obviously, you have to make your own decision on what policies that you put in. You have to almost experiment, even try things and see, are you comfortable, are you not? But what policies did you have, Tracey? Just as an example, what did you have when you had your salon?
I had a no-show policy.
So what was that?
You no-show that you're paying for that appointment to get back on my schedule. Now, this isn't harsh, right?
It's not like black or white, right? Black and white.
Habib calls me and he's like, even one time, even if he said, "Oh my God," because I've done it myself.
I
spaced it, Tracy. I'm gonna be like, Habib, I get it. I've done it. Or I got in a wreck on the way. What am I supposed to be like? So you could have had the tow truck bring you by, you know.
Right.
No, but if you have a policy, you can say, but just to let you know, just remember, this is the policy. Repeat offenders. This is where the policy comes into play.
Right.
Right. So I had a policy on no shows, and you no show, you had to pay for it, and it was 3 times you're out in 6 months.
3 times you no
Actually,
show?
a year. I'm sorry, a year.
3 times in a year you're out.
Yeah.
Got it.
You're fired as a client. And again, things happen. A person has, 3 emergencies that they could not help. I'm not going to fire them as a client. But, if they have the same emergency that their husband has now died 3 times in 1 year,
right?
It's a little suspicious.
Or my car ran out of gas again. Whatever. Dog ate my homework.
Get gas.
Right.
Get gas.
Get gas.
Yeah. You're not making certain things important, right? Then I had my late policy, right? Don't be late. Let me know if you are going to be late, because sometimes you can work with it.
Sure.
Right. And at 15 minutes, you were considered a no-show. I'm not doing you. You show up 15 minutes late, I was not able to do you. Now, again, you may have text and I would go, oh, you know what, Habib, you're like, oh my God, you know what, it's okay. I have room. You're good. Go ahead and come in. But typically if you just showed up, I'd probably meet you at the door as I was walking out, because there were certain clients I would make a point of doing that.
Yeah, of course.
Because it just was constant. And it was never the ones that were working. It was always the ones.
Hilarious.
Didn't have a job, didn't have a kids, didn't have a care in the world, and they were always late. I had a policy on small humans. Children were not allowed in my salon. I have a child. I love children. It very small. I had 500 square feet. 4 girls and 500 square feet.
Tight.
Yeah, it's tight. There's just not room for it, and just it was upstairs. People downstairs could hear everything, and then also it's just liability for them just off doing whatever they want. So I had that policy.
Animals?
No animals allowed. Of course, service animals, but past that, no animals allowed. And then there was.
What about cancellations? Like if somebody's going to cancel
24 hours.
They have to give you 24-hour notice.
Now that doesn't mean you can cancel on me all the time. 24-hour notice.
I was going to ask you, because that seems actually pretty forgiving.
Yeah. If you're sick, this is the there.
Got
you
it.
just and you might just wake up that morning and be sick. I don't want you coming in either.
Of course.
But typically people would know within 24 hours that I'm not feeling well and could give me notice. Now, that doesn't mean you can give me 24-hour notice every 2 weeks, right? And I'm going to be okay with that.
Right.
Because now we've just made it a habit. That's not part of the policy. It really was more of a no-show kind of situation, but with a 24-hour, if it's acceptable, window.
Right.
Yeah. Other policy that I just thought of, that just bringing up 2 weeks, happening every 2 weeks, is I guaranteed my work for 2 weeks.
Got it.
And people knew my policy on that. What that meant, that does not mean rip your nails off. Doesn't mean chew your nails off.
Pick,
yeah, whatever it is. That doesn't mean that you pick your nails off one day prior to your appointment and think you're going to come in and get 5 nails repaired and then move your appointment. That's also not part of the policy. But what that meant of, okay, I repair it, but after 2 weeks, I charge for repairs. So all that, it's a lot of info.
It is a lot of information, but it's necessary to have. What about payments? Like, when are payments due? How?
Love this. Payment is due at service, right? There was a period of time back in the day, it was checks, a lot of checks.
Right.
Yeah. And they loved that. Could you hold this till? No, I can't. Because you know what's not going to hold? My bills. So, and it was always that one person that every 2 weeks is like, just wait. You need to come in and get your nails done when you can afford to get your nails done.
Right. Can I post-date the check? Right.
So it was payment due at the service. Now, sometimes I've done it myself. I walk out without my purse or something. but I knew my clients. I knew, Habib came in and he forgot his wallet this one time. He isn't trying to get away with anything.
I'm going to pay you.
Yeah. And now we have Venmo. We have Zelle. We have so many different options that didn't necessarily have at the beginning of my career, started coming about towards the end of my career. So there's really no excuse not to pay.
Correct. Today, it is so easy.
Nails are not food. You don't need it to live.
Right.
If you can't afford it, don't go get it.
Speaking of food, what about if client comes in and is like, oh, I'm grabbing my lunch while what can they do during the appointment? I'm on the phone. I want to talk. I want to text. I want to eat.
This is the other things that will vary for people. I preferred they did not eat. Now, sometimes they had a little munchie or they had the drink. I don't care about that. But full on food, you can't eat a hamburger and get your nails done.
I could.
No, you can't. And here, let me tell you why. Because you're going to get that grease and everything all over your nails, and it's not working for me.
Right.
If you could eat and it not affect your nail service, I don't care.
What about if I have a knife and fork?
No, because then you need both hands. That's the other requirement. You can use your phone. I did not. I know some people, it bothers them that people are on the phone. I could care less because I could more focus on what I was doing. However, the policy was, I need your hand when I need your hand.
Right.
So earbuds in, not this with your nails and your hair. Earbuds in and be on the phone all you want. And as long as it was appropriate conversation and not disturbing to the other people in the salon.
Right. Okay. Did you actually have a policy? There's so many great policies, and I think it's giving a lot of people a lot of good ideas. Did you actually have a policy for if someone maybe was inappropriate? Or was that just something where you're like, I don't really need a policy, but if somebody's inappropriate or talking about things loud about their personal life that's maybe inappropriate, I'm going to maybe not work on them anymore? Or was that an actual policy? Or
I think if you're going to write out your policies, you should put it in the policy that, please always have appropriate conversation or whatever. But people's appropriate definition is completely different than yours most of the time.
Right.
So that usually is an at the moment conversation. Like, hey, you first, you try to steer it in a different direction.
Right.
Second, I've had to do it. I've had to talk to girls that worked in the salon. Your conversations aren't appropriate.
Yeah.
It's not appropriate. Well, I was just talking about, yes, I know you were talking about how you got drunk, you got on the car, you got in a fight, you lost your nails. It's not appropriate. It offends other people. It doesn't offend my client, but it offends everybody else around.
Right.
That's why I, even with music, I hear people, well, I'm going to play what I want to play. You have every right to.
Absolutely.
But your music should be appropriate for everybody.
Right.
It's not, sometimes we get so in our head about, I have a right to, but you want to have a great environment.
And you do.
And you do.
Like, in the end, it's your call, your decision. But, it's just that whole question of, you want to have, it's a place of business. You want to have the most, here's a great example. Like, if I walk into the warehouse and they're playing speed metal, and it's not even about lyrics. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about, it's like, you can't even understand. Right?
They've done it.
And wait, but let me tell you, by the way, I love speed metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it'll get you going.
It'll get you going. But it can be very distracting for other employees in there. So it's like, yo, we can't have this. It's distracting. So that's what I'm talking about. If you walk in the salon, you got speed metal raging, and it's like hardcore, that can be very distracting. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing is like, it's just have, what I like? I like music with beats, no lyrics, and just like chill type of stuff where you just kind of can sit and just relax.
Yeah. Exactly. We're not saying you have to play classical music.
No.
You're not. And believe me, we know certain people in the world. We have names for them nowadays, but you're not going to please everybody.
Not going to please everybody.
You could find something wrong with the 1950s music. I mean, they just are
of
those people, But you just got to think in general, like, what is a good standard for everybody?
Your people are coming to the salon to ultimately, like, it is in that category of like relaxation. I want to get my nails done. you want to chill. So it should match
Yeah.
that, in my opinion.
And I know that's kind of off topic for maybe our customer policies, but you also have to have salon policies
For sure.
for the people that are working at the salon.
Yes.
Because
Great.
they also need to follow these. Because again, I've had to talk to girls that worked in my salon many times because of inappropriate things
Right.
that were not following the salon policies.
Correct. Okay, let's talk about enforcing these policies. Now, whether it's a client or somebody in the salon, if they break the policy, you've kind of touched on it a little bit. I mean, you have to use your best judgment, right? It's not black and white of you got into a car wreck, you literally don't have a car. Shame on you for not getting a tow truck. We've discussed that. For sure there is leeway. And also you're looking at your customer, history. They're always on time. They're always here.
Yeah.
And then they have things that come up. Okay, you can understand that. But for somebody that is a repeat offender, how do you have that conversation? Like, what do you say?
Some people aren't comfortable with doing it face to face. That's fine. You can text them. You can say, hey, I've noticed, this has been several times. I'm resending you my policies. Please
nice.
read them over. Unfortunately, this is the policy that you keep breaking. And if it happens again, I'm going to have to remove you as a customer or client of mine. Hope it doesn't come to that. And I love having you as a client. So, this is why I'm resending it. You probably didn't realize. And leave it at that.
I love that. It's like, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You totally probably didn't realize. I understand. This is what's been happening. I would even have that conversation with somebody if they come. I mean, I would be okay to just say, hey, look, we got to chat. I know you've come in late a couple times. It just, so you're aware, what happens is it's like a chain effect and it starts affecting everything down the road. Obviously I love having you as a customer. I want you to stay, but if it keeps happening, it's going to be tough. I can't keep doing this. And
that's it.
And then hear the policies again, check them out. Let me know if you have any questions.
But what you cannot do, Habib, is you can't not give them policies ever.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're telling them you're firing them as a client.
Correct.
What happened? And also what happens if you don't address it. I've done this. It's awful. But you don't address it with someone that just keeps on repeat offending. And the next time Habib comes in, who never is late, always shows up on time, and he shows up 10 minutes late and I unleash on Habib because I am just over it.
You've done that?
I have done that.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I have.
And
taking it out on the wrong person.
On the wrong person, right? Because you're so frustrated, for whatever reason, you're not telling that person. And then there's somebody that's easy to talk to that maybe you kind of get along with, and they're a little, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah. You need to stop, I'm tired of people not showing up on time. I didn't say that, but this is what you can do. You might not even be talking directly at them. And this is another thing. I see it so many times. Posting it on social media.
Right.
Listen up. I am tired of XYZ. And now every client of yours immediately thinks you're talking to them.
100%.
And they're going to be like, is it me? Is it me? Is it me? And no, it's not you. Address the person that you should address.
Yeah.
Don't address. It's like punishing all the children in a classroom for one student's mistake.
Correct.
It's not fair.
Correct.
And clients take it to heart. And those are the clients that treat you well are the ones that are taking it to heart. The one that you were talking to, they care less.
Yeah,
what
totally.
you just posted.
Right.
Right over the top of their head. Right. Oh, you were talking to me?
You weren't talking about me.
You weren't talking about me.
No, yeah. Everybody else thinks you're talking about me.
Except the one person.
Except the one person.
So address it. Address
it directly, whether it's in a text to them or have a conversation if you can. I always say this. I think it's important. Tone of voice is everything. How you communicate it. You can't be like, you've been late. This is not acceptable. I'm letting you hear my policies. If you do it again, I have to fire you. You can't talk like that. At least I don't think so. Do what you want, but I don't. I think it's better to have a.
It might be the last conversation, but it probably will. Whether you want to keep that client or not, you talk to them like that. That will be the last conversation.
Yes.
So you got to be But another thing that I will say that is really, really important when it comes to policies, Habib, is you have to follow your own policies.
You have to follow your own policies.
So if I expect you to be on time, Habib, or give notice, I'm not going to be there, or all these things, I have to follow it myself.
Right. You can't, like 2 minutes before a service starts, text them on the way over as they're walking in the door. Sorry,
or just not there.
I'm just not there. Just no, you no-show yourself, your clients. You can't do that. You got to follow your own policies. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts and any policies, additional ones we didn't mention. Maybe you've got some other ones you'd like to share. Let us know in the comments below. Tracey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next time on the Biz Talk.
Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel now. Subscribe.